Hey there, it's Seb from Screechhouse here, and in this video we're going to look at how to make a powerful lead sound with only one plugin. In fact, we're gonna push it one step further. Let's only use Sylenth1 and no mixer effects. So just Sylenth1, and let's see if we can make a powerful lead out of it. This was a question that came up in the comment section, so let's just quickly jump in and let's see if we can make a powerful lead with only Sylenth1. So what we first want to do is go to the menu, click Add, and then we have to select Sylenth1. When it opens, there it is, when it opens, go to Menu over here, select Preset, and then Insert. Now, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna make a sound, but therefore I have to tweak a lot of these buttons, these knobs, these parameters. I'm not gonna explain how these work. We're just tweaking them. We're just making a sound. But if you wanna learn exactly how all these parameters work, just get the Sound Design for Beginners guide. In the description down below, there's a link. You can click it, and that brings you to Amazon, where you can read the book. So if you haven't yet, grab a copy and learn about the essential basics of sound design. But for now, let's quickly create the sound. First, we start at the oscillators area. That's this part and this part. What we do is we want to select a saw wave over here, saw. And we do the same on this side, oscillator 2. Select a saw. Then for both, we disable the retrigger, like this and this. Once we have that, we increase the voices to 8. You don't have to increase it to 8, you can also use 6 or 7 or any amount that you like. It's just that the more voices you have, the more powerful the sound tends to get. So let's stick with that for now. Now, the next part we want to do is open the D-tune. So and let's say we put it around, let's put this one around 4.4 or something like that. And this one we put around 4.8. So there's a little bit of difference between the two oscillators. Okay, there's that. Now, the next thing we want to do is the one that has a little bit less detune. Let's bring the octave 1 down to -1, like over here. Then we drop the pitch with 1 octave. That makes the sound a little bit fuller. Then you have two octaves playing at the same time. It's this one and this one. So once we have that, we go over here at the amplitude envelope and we give it a little bit of release. The release makes sure there's a fade out sound at the end of our sound, at the end of our lead. So that makes it less abrupt. So there's that. Now before we continue, let me draw a few notes so we can actually hear the sound while we're at it. So I already draw a few notes here. Let's just copy it and go to a new pattern over here. When we look at it, it's really easy, it's really simple, just a few notes. When we play it, it sounds like this right now. As you can hear, really simple, really easy, nothing spectacular. But for now, let's go back to our sound design. Let's go over here again at the Sylenth1. Now the next thing we want to do is go to the effects options on Sylenth1 and select the chorus. At the chorus, let's put the depth around 50. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm just a little bit perfectionistic. This can, the dry wet can also stay, no, let's put it a little bit down, like let's say 25, around 25%. So around 25% will be applied. The rest is just dry signal, so the chorus is not doesn't affect the sound that much. It's just a little bit of a taste. Let's put the rate up to around 3 Hertz. The width is good. The delay can go a little bit down, something around 6, 7, that's good. The feedback doesn't really matter that much, but let's keep it down around 0. So when we have that, it sounds like this. Nothing major changes. That's okay, it's just a little taste for now. Let's continue to the equalizer. The equalizer is quite important because it adds some higher frequencies to the sound that are generally a little bit lost, especially when we're making a saw sound, a super saw. And the super saws usually fare very well with added high frequencies in them. So what we're gonna do is we just drop the bass down here to 0. The bass frequency, you can also leave it or drop it down, doesn't matter. But this is what we want to keep. This is around 7.5 decibels of treble, of higher frequencies, around this spot, around 3500 Hertz. You can change this, you can play with this to put a little bit of different emphasis in the high frequencies, also depending on how it sounds and your melody. But for now, let's keep it here and continue with the delay. The delay, hold on, let me first play the sound so you can hear the changes. This is the sound now. There you have it. As you can hear, the higher frequencies really add on to the sound, that it starts to sound more fresh. It comes at you much better already. It's still a very weak and empty sound, but we're working on that, so stay tuned. Also make sure to watch it at the end, because at the end we're gonna apply one simple easy trick and you will immediately see how powerful this trick is to get a fat lead. So it's really easy, but I'll save it till the end so you can first go through the process of changing all the settings, and then finally everything will fall back together. So let's continue here. Let's go to the delay. This setting over here, just enable it. And how you set this is mostly taste. So for now, let's say we want to give the right speaker a slight delay in comparison with the left speaker. So there's a little bit of difference between the two. So you get a ping pong effect between the left and the right speaker. Let's put the low cut around 250 Hertz, something like that. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just about how it sounds. So by removing some of the bass frequencies, the sound stays in the lower frequencies more centered, more tight. We want to do the same with the higher frequencies. Let's cut it back, let's say around 10,000 Hertz or something like that, else it gets a little bit too hissy. If you want, you can smear it out a little bit. It's not that important. Spread it out can be a good idea, so you have a more stereo panorama here. Spread it out like that. The feedback, maybe you want to get it to 60 or 60 something. So the delay stays for longer, so it has a longer delay effect. Makes it sound bigger in a way. The width, you can also increase it to, let's say, 100%, so it sounds wider and bigger. There's that, and now it sounds like this. As you can hear, you have the delay effect going from left to right. What I did was here, I opened the main volume so we hear it a little bit better. So it's not that quiet, it's a little bit louder now. So I always like to hear it a bit louder also, like changing the volume a little bit so I have different perspectives. But let's continue with the reverb, enable the reverb. And let's set the reverb. The pre-delay of 100 milliseconds, that's about right. The damp, yeah, let's put it around 2 or something like that. That takes away some of the ultra high frequencies that sound too hissy, especially for a reverb. You want to cut them out a little bit, else it starts to sound a little bit fake and too hissy, so we don't want that. As far as the size go, 7.5 where it is right now, that's about right for this type of lead. You can do it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but that's totally up to you. The width, 100%, I like that. The dry and wetness, 50%, I like that also. You can say a little bit more maybe, let's say around here, and that's about it. So let's listen now. As you can hear, it has more space. That's very good. It's still kind of a weak sound, but we're gonna add that later after we apply the compression. So let's enable the compressor. Let's put the ratio around 2.5 or something like that. Again, it's not exact, it's just a ballpark. See it as a ballpark. Then let's put the threshold a little bit down, around 13 or something like that. Play around with it so you get a feel for it, what it does. But for now we just continue. We don't want to make the video that long, so let's try to keep it short. Let's put this around 25 milliseconds or something like that. So the attack around 25, let's put the release around, let's say 60 or 50 or something like that, around there. And let's listen again. Okay, there's that. You probably don't hear much of a difference. So this is basically a simple type of sound you usually end up with when you make sounds. You think like, it sounds a bit weak. It doesn't really sound full or big. So how can we change it? How can we make it more powerful? And what a lot of producers don't really know or don't really apply, especially when you're just starting out, is the power of chords. What chords does, it's basically a stack of 3 different notes playing together, and they all use the same sound. So all these notes playing together, a different note, that makes like a big and a huge effect, and that changes your sound tremendously so that it sounds very powerful, very fat, with just that simple trick. And I show you that immediately. Now, hold on, one more setting you first have to do is like changing the polyphony. That's how many notes can be played simultaneously. So now it says 3, so we can only play 3 notes simultaneously. We want to change that to, let's say 5 or 6 or something like that for now. So we can play 5 or 6 notes simultaneously. So let's close this for now. And I already prepared some chords here so you can listen to it and hear the difference. You can also take a look at it here. This is just a few chords. And listen to how it changes the sound. Now back to the old one. As you can hear, just adding some chords really boosts your sounds immensely. It's like insane. And you don't have to stop here. What you can do is like, for example, you can copy the basic chords on the top layer. Let's say you copy them, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, you paste them again, and you can put them like 1 octave lower, and then you have a lot of notes playing together, all using that Sylenth1 sound. So when you play this piece of music, you really have a powerful sound. So listen to this again. Now, I made one tiny mistake, and it's good that I made it, so you can also prevent making that. You see, we just set the Sylenth1 to 6 notes simultaneously. I just copied these notes on the piano roll, and these are more than 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 notes. So we want to set the Sylenth1 to at least 8 notes. And when we play it now, it sounds like this. There's that, and once you have that, once you have this powerful sound, you can make a lot of changes to your sound to tweak it, to shape it exactly as how you want it. For example, let's increase the release a little bit and let's see how that sounds. That sounds epic also, and you can do the same on the piano roll by making the notes long or making them shorter or anything like that. So let's listen to this, for example. So there you have it. That's the secret for this video, to make a tiny weak lead instantly very powerful by just using chords. And if this is a bit overwhelming for you to see all these notes, some playing a B, some playing a C, some playing an A, that's very understandable, and that's also why I've written the Ultimate Melody Guide. When you get this guide, you learn exactly how to make melodies like this. It's a step-by-step approach, so you can immediately understand how that works, how melodies are made, especially for electronic dance music, by just keeping it simple. You don't have to know much music theory. If you haven't yet, get the guide in the description below. I'll put a link there. Just click it and again you get to Amazon where you can read the guide. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully you see the power of some basic sound design and the power of chords. Once you combine these two, you will immediately get a very powerful sound. So please apply it, please do this in your tracks, especially when you're making electronic dance music. Because if you don't do this, you're missing out on the most powerful trick, quote unquote, there is. So this brings us to the end of the video. Let it be helpful. If it's helpful to you, if you learned something, make sure to stick around and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell. That makes sure you don't miss any future videos. If you have questions, just like this one, I received them in the comments. Leave a comment down below and let me know exactly what your biggest problem is with music production. And maybe I'll make a video about it and you will see that video online quite soon. So leave a comment down below and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.